Today is April 7th, and I'm currently on board the cruise ship that I work on. I just filmed a room tour that'll be at the end if you want to watch that. I just wanted to talk about how this coronavirus thing is affecting me slash the ship and cruises in general. I have been on this ship since February, and on the trip that we were doing, we kind of heard a couple things here and there about, oh, there's some illness going around, and I kind of thought it's gonna be like the SARS thing that happened a few years back, right? Not gonna be that big of a deal. And then we left the US, and from there I had spotty Wi-Fi at best, so when I could get Wi-Fi, I would just check in with my family and say hey and whatever, and then just go from there. So I wasn't following the news, and I feel like that was the case with a lot of us. We were really well insulated from the information. And especially because we were coming out of a yard period, we had a lot of work to do to get the ship ready. So we didn't care that much about what was going on outside. We just needed to make sure that the ship was ready for the time when we got passengers. It became a little bit more on our radar. We had extra sanitation procedures in place. We would Lysol everyone's bags really well before they came on board, thinking, if this thing is spreading, it's probably going through airports, so that's where people are likely to pick it up. Ships in general are really conscious of illness because of noroviruses, which are actually no more common on cruise ships than they are in the general public. It looks like it's vastly... Okay, that's going to be happening all the time. There are so many pumps and everything, and they're like right through that wall, so yeah, awkwardly waited out. Finally. I don't really remember where I was, but by early to mid-March, we started hearing reports of some of the other ships shutting down. We were in the Bahamas, and obviously Nassau is a huge area for cruise ships. Normally their terminal can have anywhere from 2 to 5 ships during the day. But by the time they started announcing their curfews and restrictions and everything, it was a ghost town. It was decided that the group of passengers that we had on board were going to depart early, and we were going to cancel trips after that and head back. It's really not as simple as it seems to just cancel cruise ships, because normally you have ships transiting everywhere, and so having enough dockage in the right spots for all the ships available can be a logistical problem. And one of the problems for us was whether everyone would be able to get home. It's not quite simple enough to just be able to send all the crew away. As we were about to head back to the US, we had heard reports that all flights from Europe were grounded, and so there was really, again, and there was some rumor of whether the US was going to shut its ports. Thankfully that didn't happen, and we were able to get home. Once we were there, all non-essential personnel were flown home, and starting from then, no one was allowed on or off the ship. I think the last time I was able to actually go out and, do things was around March 18th or so. I've been going a little bit stir crazy. The furthest I've gotten off the ship was a couple hundred feet to a dumpster because we had to throw some trash away. And once we were back in the US, we had to go to a shipyard. And getting there, it just felt like weather did not want to cooperate. It took way longer than it should have, and we were held up a lot. We were able to get back, and now we are safely in a shipyard, tied up for long-term storage. The guys that I was living with are driving distance from here, so they were able to go home and see their families. And I am here alone, which is why I was able to film a look around. Normally, out of respect for their privacy, I wouldn't try to film in here. I don't know when I would work again. It doesn't seem like cruises are going to be running anytime soon. That's all. I had to turn the heat off because this heater right here is so crazy loud. It is the worst thing in the world, and it's starting to get cold in here. So that's all. That's where I am right now, and I have no other information. So, all right, bye. So the first thing is that this is a security light, so it is literally always on. It's red, so that we can still sleep through it, but it's very poorly painted. You can kind of see the white light poking through in certain spots. Turning on the normal light, we can see over here, we have this handy emergency escape ladder, and there are 4 bunks over here. And then we have this bank of lockers, so everyone can put their stuff away. This is the bathroom. Most of the stuff's gonna be pretty hard to film. Should give you an idea. So there are 2 more bunks over here. This is an awkward painter's tape sculpture I made. Mermaid, obviously. And then 1 more locker, that one's mine. All right, and then just awkwardly setting my camera in my locker on the shelf. This is my bunk, and as you can see, my overhead clearance is literally not even enough to sit up straight. And I have a little shelf to put stuff on. There's an outlet in here, it's pretty convenient, and then there's another outlet on this side that I string my watch charger over so I can charge it in my bed. While I was in my mandatory 14-day quarantine period, I got sick, so cliffhanger,